Well, this is part 4, and hopefully it's the last part of the series tonight. Gonna work on the nut, and then just basically a final setup on this thing tonight. So I was just checking the action at the 12th fret here, and it's still, we get about 5.5 64ths and 4 64ths on the treble E, and the action looks much better than when we started. Another thing that I did before I started working on the frets, I just measured the height of the frets, and they were between 33 and 36 thousandths, probably averaging, you know, most of them were around 35 or so. And now that we're done with the fret level, get this, let's see if we can see the caliper here. Here's 33. The second fret, the one that was high, about 32. So really I didn't take a whole heck of a lot off. The fall away down at the tongue here probably took the most material off down here. No, even that one's 33. So with all that sanding with the radius beam that you saw me doing, still didn't take an awful lot of material off to get these level. So what I want to do now is we're going to relook at the height of these strings above the first fret by the nut, and just verify that those original readings are what I got, and then I want to kind of fine tune the height of the strings. And I was just playing this, and I can definitely feel that the E and the B feel high to me. So I want to bring those down, and they are high. We'll look at them again, but when I first measured them, those were both up around 26 thousandths compared, you know, all the other strings. Even the bass E was only 22 thousandths. There's no way that the treble should be higher than the bass E. It should be vice versa. And actually I wrote down figures down here to the left. This is ideally what I might shoot for tonight. 22 thousandths, 20, 18 thousandths, 16, 12, and 10. Get progressively lower. So let me grab that nut gauge, nut height gauge, and we'll see what we got down here over the first fret. So let me show you how I measure these things. This is a nut height gauge, nut action gauge, which is measuring the height of the string over the first fret. And basically they give you some grooves here, and this will sit over the strings, and then this plunger sits on top of the string, and then you push down on either side of the fret, and the plunger will go down and show you what the distance is from the bottom of the string to the height of the first fret. So this just basically goes over the strings like this. And this dial you can move, and I set it to 0 before. So you want to set that to 0, and then you push down the strings on either side. So there's 10, 20, so it's about 22 thousandths still. And that's the bass C. And what I'll do is I'll go down each string, and we'll just double check them and see where we're at. Well, this is what I'm finding so far. The E string was 22 thousandths above, which is good. The A string is now, I was real careful measuring it, it's about 21 thousandths, which is good. But when I check the D string, I'm like 14 thousandths. So it's dropping too low too fast. So unfortunately I got to get this D string, I'd like to get a little higher. Now, based on when I was working on the saddle, I think that's tusk material, and I've got bone saddles and material, and I was just looking through some parts that I have, and I just happen to have an old tusk saddle that I took out of another guitar that I made a saddle for, and this is exactly what was, it looks exactly like what I have in this Gibson here. You can see these holes here, there's like 3 holes in the bottom. And a trick that you can do with bone, if you overcut like a nut, you can actually take a piece of bone, sand it, get some bone powder, and put the powder in here, and then put a tiny drop of thin super glue, and then recut the nut slot. I don't want to make a whole nut, hopefully, and I'm going to try, I don't know if it's going to work with the tusk or not, but that's exactly what I'm going to try and do. I'm going to try sanding this on this 80 grit, get myself some powder, and stuff some down in the D slot, and then just put a small drop of super glue there. Okay, move the camera a little closer so you can kind of see what's going on. Put a couple pieces of tape here just to try and keep me from making too much of a mess, and I sanded that tusk, and I've got some powder here. So I'm going to try and just start filling put some of this powder into the nut slot on the D string here. Pack it in there. And again, you can do this with bone. I've never tried doing it with this material. So we'll see. It works good with bone. Got my super glue here. There we go. I definitely got one drop on there. Let me try one more. Okay. The first one soaked in. And that drop's just kind of sitting up on top. But we got the slot filled, so we'll see what happens. We'll give that a little bit to cure. Well, it looks like it worked pretty good. In fact, I got it. It's actually on top of the nut. I can't get the string to seat. I'm gonna have to start filing. So we'll see how it sounds. That's the only other thing I'd be concerned about, just to see how that tusk reacts with the super glue in there, if it's as hard as the original tusk or not. So let me get a nut file, and we'll start bringing these slots down. I know the E and the A are good. I like them. Because I'm 20 thousandths, so I'm going to shoot for about 18 on the D. I got my nut files out. These are the strings that I'm going to be using, the elixirs, and these are lights. They're 12 through 53s, and it's what I've had on this guitar before, and I like them. They're actually what's on here now, except for that A string that we broke. The D is 32 thousandths, and I've got a nut file here. There's one side is 32 thousandths, 26 thousandths would be more for the G string, and then I've got a 12 and a 16 for when we get to the B and the E. Well, it definitely got... Tuss definitely hardened up with that super glue. Well, at least I got a notch now, so let's just get that string in and see how high we are. $10, $20, $30, $40, $45,000 high right now. So it worked. It definitely worked, and I've just got to work at this slot and bringing it on down. Okay, I was taking it slow, right? And you check yourself off, and because I have done nuts where I've gone too far and it sucks. You end up having to either fill it like I did or just start all over again. But here we go. The D string has 0, so I get about 18, 17, 18 thousandths, which is exactly where I want to be. So I think we're 22, 21, 18. And actually, I don't think I have to do anything to the G. I thought the G was pretty good. Let me just check the G again here. The G string was good. I didn't have to do anything to it. It's about 15 thousandths or so. So I just put this gauge over on the B string here. There's 10. We're like 20, probably 22 thousandths, 23 thousandths. So definitely got to take that B string down. Now with the thinner file, they cut fast, so you got to be careful. You can't be too cautious, really. Just get a feel for how fast it's going down. Alright, I can go harder on this. It's pretty tough material. That's it. It's like 10. I'm stopping. 10 or 11. See, it didn't take much how fast that came down. So I'm going to do the same thing on the E. Alright. Of course I broke the E string when I was adjusting the starting to cut that last slot. So I had to put another string on, but I just used one of the new elixirs that I'll be putting on here. So now I've got the nut set up above the first fret here. The 22, 20, I think we were what, 17 or so. The G is well, the G was around 14 or 15, and I'm 12 thousandths, and then E is 10 thousandths. Plays great. Sounds good too. Because I was wondering when we used the super glue and the dust on the D, if that would have if that was going to impair the tone or not. Doesn't sound like it to me. And something that I noticed too is no buzzing up here, and I used to get buzzing because of the rise that we had back here in the extension. Not that you ever play up here, but they're all sound clean. Plays better than it ever had, and it sounds great with these strings. I almost don't want to change these strings. That's usually one of my progressions to see how it's playing up the neck here. I'm happy. It feels great. Alright, I got it all polished up and ready to put the new strings on, and I just thought I'd show you how I put strings on. I saw this way done at the Martin factory, and I like it. So this is the way I've been putting strings on all my guitars. What you want to do is just line your holes up so that they're running this way. So it makes it pretty easy. You can just thread the string right through, and I hold just a little bit of slack. And basically what you want to do is come around the middle of the peg head, under the string, tight against the post, and then come right back towards the peg head, and you kind of bend it over the string. That's it. It's pretty easy to do. You don't get a lot of winds around the post, and they're very easy to get off when you go to change strings. Okay, last string. Like I say, these are elixirs. They're lights. Took me a while to find out what they had originally put on here, but I did some digging, and I did find that the jumbo, the SJ-150 did have light strings on it, and these are the phosphor bronze. But anyway, just straight through the hole. Give yourself a little bit of string back towards the peg head, under the string, and kind of push it back towards the peg head and lock it back down on that string. Just hold it there till it gets a little tension on it. There you go. Okay, and I forgot before I put the truss rod cover on, and that's back on. Let me get it tuned up, check the relief, and we'll do a couple more chord progressions and picking and see how it is. All the black keys play good on this. It's never played this good. I bought this guitar used, and it plays fantastic. Up the neck, and the I don't think it's ever sounded this good, and I think that's got a lot of that's got to do with adjusting the saddle and getting those notches out of there, because the B string used to just die You know, it was very, this wasn't very active. That's it. Plays great. Times like these makes me feel good that after all that work that, you know, it pays off and it comes out just as nice as you were hoping, if not better, exceed your expectations, and I think this did. Action is great and the tone's great, and what I thought was going to be just a minor saddle leveling turned into a lot more. A lot of work, but it was worth it.